Hello, welcome back to Outdoor Exploration. I'm Emily, and it's our Friday chicken update. That is the question, when do we call them chickens and not chicks? They're definitely getting to be on their way, and today we are going to try banding some of them. The reason is, although we don't have that many chickens, there isn't usually a necessity to band them, but we have both Australorps and Jersey Giants, both of which will grow up to be rather largish black chickens. And they came from the breeder with blue on the Australorps chest feathers, like blue food dye that they use. But as they're growing all their feathers in, that's kind of disappearing, and we don't want to lose track of who's who in case we decide to, keep, as we potentially will, a rooster from the Australorps, and then we don't necessarily want to be breeding him with hens from what was the same batch of eggs. So, just so we know, then we might have, say, a rooster from the Australorps and a bunch of Jersey Giant hens, then at least we know who's who. So we're going to attempt to band the 3 Australorps that we have using our homemade method that we will sort out shortly. And yeah, and that's it. Other than that, we're going to introduce them to you and take them out for a play on the grass, which they thoroughly enjoy. Oh, by now they spend most of every day out exploring the under part of their coop. I would call it the run, except they're getting a bigger run actually. So this is just the vermin-proof outdoor part of their coop. And we leave their ramp open during the day, and about half of them have figured out that they can come and go from the coop, and the others have to be put to bed every night by hand because they don't find their way back. But yeah, they're happy and growing. And now let's go make that leg band. So I've researched various means of do-it-yourself leg banding, and people seem to mostly use zip ties, which I think is kind of terrible because I don't want to be the person trying to cut a zip tie off of the little leg of my chick when every time I have to change the size. So other things people do are paint the toenails, and I thought that might work, except that you have to kind of somehow hold the chick while the toenail polish dries, so I'm not doing that. I don't want to order the expensive leg bands or even cheap ones because, hey, it's coronavirus. We're doing everything we can by ourselves. And what else? There's something else I'm forgetting. There is some other method, I can't remember, but one of them that I have found is people are taking the spiral binding, preferably plastic, I think, from whatever books, and cutting them to make leg bands. So I found this Beginning Piano for Adults book that we don't really want to destroy, which has this nice plastic ring binding. I know there's some specific name for this type, whatever it is. So I figure this is slightly larger than the size our Australorps will need right now because they have among the biggest legs, especially the big one, of all the chicks. I don't have anything slightly smaller, and I think the next smallest book that we had that I could possibly use is maybe too small, or very shortly would be. So we'll just see if this works. And what I'm going to do is try and cut out 3 of these bands from the middle so that the book can stay together and yet that I can use some. So okay, so here's one band, hopefully, and I don't want it to cut my chick, so this end is already pretty smooth, but I'm just gonna trim these off a little so it's nice and round all the way around, and nobody's gonna be hurt by their leg bands. There. Hopefully that works. Looks like the ones you can buy, kind of. Let's see. Do 2 more. Okay, so let's go out and see if they work.
I can go to the ramp, but I'll be here to go that one.
You do that. So they go in there feeling calm. There we go. Calm.
Every time it's so much heavier than the last time.
What a... I can't... I'll grab it from... Okay. Hello, everybody. Yes, you're in your adventure area. So this is the one we generally call the big one, because he or she has always been bigger than all the rest. And yes, it's most likely that it's a rooster, but we're not making any commitments right now. It's the one that goes around kind of looking after all the rest. Mostly not dominating them, but just breaking up fights and picking little goops off of them. And so today, you are our first Australorp who gets a leg band. And interestingly, this one, although it's the biggest, is not the one, is not a Jersey Giant. I mean,
It's not getting its tail feathers this fast.
oh yeah, and it's not as far along. See, this little tail is still pretty tiny. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to frighten you. So, will you, actually, will you hold it? So when they're upside down, they calm down. Hey, sweet. Hey. You can still see a little bit of the blue on its chest there. And I hope these leg bands aren't too big, but we're going to find out. Well, it might be. It's too big. What are we going to do? Okay, put it down.
And this is the biggest
I think
one.
we should leave that one on this one because it's the biggest one, but we'll just have a look. Go ahead. See if it can handle it, or maybe it's just going to drive it crazy.
Pretty annoying.
Is it annoying? We might have to find another book with smaller rings.
Did we take that one off?
Come here. I think it's, we'll just watch it for now. Here's another Australorp, and you can see the blue food dye still on its chest there. Yes, and it actually has more tail feathers. How can I show you? Yeah, you take it so that they can see. It actually has further developed tail feathers than the big one. And if you take it over there, then they can see the tail feathers up close, so they're all coming out. Hi, everybody. Wanna go down? So this is a lavender Orpington, and they're really not very developed at all. They're all the same age, remember? But it has barely any tail feathers. You're not in a hurry to get down now? I thought you would go for a walk. There you go. Yeah, you're on vacation. So we think this one is an Americana. See, it has the little puffy cheeks. Hi, sweetheart. You look tired. Can you go down? So this is one of our Jersey Giants. And as you can see, if it wasn't for the little bit of blue on the chest, we'd hardly know the difference right now. You going down? It won't get off my arm. I thought you'd go for an adventure. There you go. There's all your little head feathers. Yeah, you little pubescent bird.
Make you warmer.
Whoa! What are you doing?
Fat.
Oh, they're trying to roost on my arm. That's what you're doing. So down here on my right here is the big one, who after about 2 minutes already threw the band off. So that was that. I guess those bands are way too big. So, having failed the leg band experiment, we're going to try the nail polish experiment. So this is some kids' nail polish, so hopefully we're not... Don't be scared. Oh, big one, come on.
That's not the big one.
Oh, it's not, you're not big one.
Are you chewing my shoe?
It just might have had a worm on it. So I'm going to try doing a little bit of kids' nail polish, and we'll just see if this works. I don't want to get it all over you. but you're gonna have pink nail polish, just like all your Australorps brothers and sisters. We'll see how that goes. Just relax, you're at the spa. It's the spa for big, gigantic Australorps. Yes, that's a funny thing, hey? The lovely thing about Big One, and the reason we assume we're keeping them no matter what gender it is that you're always so curious about everything. Whoa, careful.
Whoa.
All done.
Good job. You can go dry them.
Yeah, you're the last one to have the nail job. Here you go. There you go. So I guess that's it for today. Me and Lavender here are ready to say goodbye. And we'll see you next week, when no doubt we'll have a whole bunch more new changes to tell you about. Happy exploring.